Liam's going to be talking about beyond boundaries, strategies for conquering new segments and markets. He's the senior manager of commercial sales at 6 Sense. Liam's got over a decade of sales experience, having had roles at Gartner and Allocadia before joining 6 Sense at the beginning of last year as an enterprise AE before moving into management. I saw him, I opened up a talk at their event, 6 Sense Inspire the other day, which was fantastic. I highly recommend you check it out, but I'm going to hand over to Liam now.
Hey, James, thanks so much. Absolute pleasure to be here. And let me just take a second. You give me a hard act to follow here after a talk like that. But I was in the US last week with a group of sales leaders in Salt Lake City. And as we were working together and coaching together, we talked about moments of vulnerability, right? And how powerful it can be. So thank you so much for that moment of vulnerability and sharing your own story there, James. Like I couldn't agree more with what you're saying about a mentor, a professional coach, and then those people you surround yourself with, right? It's so important.
Awesome.
All right, let's dig in because I'm conscious I got 10 minutes here. So hey everyone, my name's Liam Wedderburn. I'm senior commercial sales manager at 6 Sense. Really excited to be chatting to you guys today. Give me 1 second. I am gonna share some slides with you. Give me a thumbs up if you can see that. Oh, that works. Hopefully, we should be in now.
Slides. You're not sharing the right tab, Liam, just to give you a heads up.
Share this tab instead. Yeah. How about that?
That's there. You're good.
Perfect. We're in. Okay, great. As I said, Liam Wedderburn, really excited to be chatting to you all today. And hey, thanks to James and thanks to Owen for bringing us all together. I really appreciate the work you do in this community. So dive in. The name of the get together today of the event is SaaS growth, right? But I think right now growth is harder than ever for many of us. So I want to take a minute to acknowledge that. But I really want to come and talk today about maybe a couple of strategies that we can all use as sellers and sales leaders to continue growing, to level up our productivity and overall to hit our number, right? And so in particular, I want to talk about how an intelligence-based approach and how leveraging AI can help us to make better decisions, to focus our time on the right areas and where we spend our time, to improve productivity. And so as we talk about that, as we talk about the age of intelligence, I guess you could also call this the work smarter, not harder presentation, right? And so I hope from this you'll be able to take a few actionable points that you can bring into your world as a seller to be more productive and ultimately hit your number, right? And so ultimately, it's about what you need to be prioritizing and focusing on and what you need to be asking your revenue team for to be successful. And hey, spoiler alert, it's not going to be more leads. All right. And so let me start a little bit with some of the problem we see today. And I'll go ahead and build this slide out, right? Today, we are seeing that information overload is killing revenue generation teams, is killing sales teams, right? And sales productivity. And we see that happen in 3 ways, really. The first one being that only 3% of buyers are filling out a form on your website. That means that 97% of buyers that are in market and looking at your material and looking at your competitors' material are anonymous to you right now. Without that insight, you're looking at lists, but you're late to deals and you're missing out on deals entirely, right? And we'll see that on a day-to-day basis. Secondly, because it's such a small number of accounts in any total addressable market are in market at any one time, we throw a lot of information and data at sellers. And as sellers, we deal with a lot of information and data. MQL lists, total addressable market lists, webinar attendee lists, data polls, right? And we throw all that information and we target it all and we hope that something sticks. And what this leads to is kind of the last one is kind of a result of the first two. What it leads to is wasted time and wasted dollars, because we get into cycles of buying more technology, buying more data, and it only exacerbates the problem. And that problem is that only 32% of a seller's time is spent selling. Far too much time is spent right now on non-revenue generating activities, sifting through meaningless data, it's like looking for a needle in a haystack, right? And this takes us as sellers away from those high quality sales activities we want to do. Put this another way round, right? That 68% of time that you're not spent selling equates to about 150 days a year that you're not spent selling, right? And that's some of the problem we're seeing. Sellers are overloaded with data, but underserved with relevant insights. And so what we're seeing and what we're advocating for at 6 Sense is that a shift is underway to make more intelligent decisions as sellers based on data, right? And based on having data in front of us. So let me share a story here a little bit. So I started my career, as James said, I started my career as a BDR about 11 years ago. I had no data. When I did call blitzes, I would compile a list of around 100 names. Then I'd call an HQ number. I'd ask to be transferred to the relevant person. And then if I couldn't be transferred, I'd ask for their extension number. And I would literally write the extension number down on a piece of paper so I could call back later directing that extension. Fast forward to my last AE role. Quite the opposite, right? So much data was available to me. MQL lists, webinar lists, ICP data pools from a data provider, right? But it's too much. It's information overload. And I spent more time sorting through those lists and creating plans than I did prospecting, than I did on high quality sales activities. And that's a productivity hit, right? That's time spent in the wrong place. And so right now, what we're seeing, what we're advocating for, what we're seeing is intelligent sales organizations are waking up to this. We're seeing a shift away from overloading teams with overabundant data, overabundant tooling, to delivering smart and targeted intelligence into the hands of reps so they can take action, right? And again, I'll build this out. What we're saying is that sellers need a new edge. That's plain and simple right now. Sellers need 3 things to perform at their best. Intelligence on the autonomous research that's happening in their accounts so that they're not missing key signals, you're not missing key deals. So that's intelligence on the anonymous signals that's happening. Proven AI that helps you make sense of all those signals that are out there and all that data that's out there. So you know which are the best accounts to target and contacts to target. And that's the difference, right? It's not about more lists. It's about using intelligence to prioritize. And ultimately a place to aggregate all that intelligence into one-stop shop, one easy-to-use place so that we are spending less time researching and more time on high-quality sales activities, right? And so maybe a bit of a challenge here, if I may, for sales leaders out there, sales leaders on the call. If you're not doing this today, if you're not using an intelligence-based approach to help your reps prioritize, then I challenge you to go and spend a day in the life with your frontline teams, okay? What I've seen and what I think you'll see is that day in the life is part comical and part scary, right? All those lists we talked about earlier, plus a bunch of different data sources just to try and send an email or make a call. Back to that point earlier, only 32% of that day spent on high quality sales activities, right? What I'm advocating for, what we're advocating for, and what I believe will improve productivity for all sellers here is leveraging AI to put intelligence directly in the hands of sellers, right? This is the work smarter, not harder slide, as I said earlier. So by doing this, what we're seeing and the way we try and work here at 6 Sense is that your day in the life becomes 4 easy steps, as you see on screen. And actually, it's 3 easy steps. Because whilst it starts with prioritization, your sellers don't actually need to prioritize their accounts anymore. AI should be doing that for them. No more noise, no more guesswork, no more list sorting. Predictive intelligence should be taking care of that first box. Okay, it should be helping reps understand which accounts to target. The next step is research, right? Reps still need to build out buying teams and have instant access to the verified data on and information on accounts and contacts. That's not just for your main buyer, but also for all the important personas that your best reps are multi-threading into, and that's multi-threading next. So before reps pick up the phone, they should know how to tailor the message based on the most intelligent view of the account. Yes, classic contact information and company information that's been around forever. But more importantly here, this is about contextual intelligence on what that account and contacts are researching on and off your website and how they're engaging with your sales and marketing activities, right? So finally, when it comes to time to reach out, we should get to a point where we as sellers are reaching out to the right accounts because we've prioritized and we're armed with intelligence we've never had before, meaning we can personalize at scale and our relevancy goes through the roof. Okay. This, again, is the work smarter, not harder. So last one for me, and I'm conscious where I'm at in time. Why should you care about this? We're seeing that companies that do this, that are shifting towards that intelligence-based approach, are driving real results. And two things stick out for me here. One, by prioritizing the right accounts and focusing on the right buyer, we're seeing reps generate, on average, 31% more pipeline. Second one, far right. When we reach out to those ops that are in market right now with the right message at the right time, those opportunities close faster and with less effort. Okay, 40% reduction in effort to close. So my call to action here, and to finish up, leave information overload behind because it's killing rep productivity and it kills our productivity on a day-to-day basis. We as sales leaders and sales teams should be leveraging AI to help prioritize the right accounts, to know about them, and then to increase the amount of time we're spending on high quality sales activities. Okay, James, I'll pass it back to you, and thank you very much.